As you go about your everyday life using digital services like GPS on your phone while in the car, email, search engines, and AI, the content doesn't appear magically. It pulls from a data center. And now, with an arms race declared against China for AI supremacy, that will require far more data centers. Joining us to discuss is Kay Rubacek. She's an author and writer on human value and AI. Kay, great to see you. You recently penned 2 articles for the Epoch Times exploring various aspects of data centers. The benefits are clearly seen in daily life. Your research, though, shows that there are some darker sides of data centers. What can you share with us?
I think the darker side really is that it's the information that we're not being told. And that's why it seems dark. If that can come to light and we can have more open discussion about it, then hopefully it won't be seen as such a dark side. Because we are using AI in everyday life now, and it's throughout so many of our administration systems and institutions in society. We're using it on our phone and we're using it on our computers. But we're not thinking about where that comes from. So many people have this concept that AI is some form of magical tool that just exists out in the cloud. What we don't see are the data centers. AI has a very large footprint, a physical footprint throughout the US and throughout the world now, and it's only going to get larger and larger. So these data centers are massive. I guess they look like factories, but they are running the technology that allows us to access artificial intelligence. The darker aspects that aren't talked about is that local communities are having these data centers brought into their communities without a lot of discussion, and then they're finding out afterwards the amount of power and water that they're using for these stadium-sized facilities is really through the roof. And it's nothing like we've seen before.
Yeah, that's interesting and often not talked about. One of the points you make eloquently in your article is that it's the rapid pace of innovation is exceeding lawmakers and communities' ability to really comprehend what goes into a project like this. Can you explain that?
You know, in America, we have this wonderful system where it takes time to do things. And that can be really frustrating for people because we want things to go fast. But things have to go through a process. They take time. That allows for checks and balances. Now, what we're seeing with this AI and data systems is that there is a big rush going forward where policymakers haven't been necessarily keeping up to date with all of the, even the basics I talked about in one of my articles was how Congress was given a what is a data center FAQ. Meanwhile, they're going up all across the country. They're already here. And we're starting to see the repercussions of that with local citizens seeing that their electric bills are going up. So there is a bit of a disconnect there where this technology is going through very, very quickly and it needs the hardware. It has the support from many aspects of government and industry. But then there's other part of legislation and regulation that really haven't had the chance to catch up because they take time. That's how the system is built. But this AI technology is not taking time. So we are seeing a bit of a clash happening there.
Now, it makes sense that the data centers require lots of energy to run them and lots of water to cool them. But why do some of the costs land with the surrounding community? I would think the opposite, that it's generating jobs and it's creating tax revenue.
We're often told that these data centers and AI is creating new jobs, but we're not seeing that. Once these data centers are built, yes, there is construction jobs when they're being built, but there's a very small window for that. Once they're built, they use very few workers. They often will have remote workers. These AI hardware systems, they don't eat, sleep. They don't need the normal human cycles that we experience of taking a break or having someone cover for you. They're just running 24/7 and they're designed that way. They don't need a lot of people. So we're not seeing really sustainable job growth through these AI data centers. Now, with the water and the electric, it really depends on the data center. Some are more dependent on requiring more water, others require more electric. So there are a few different ways that they're constructed. But either way, they need a lot of resources. And the tax benefits are usually upfront for the communities. They're not seeing that long term. And that's where we're sometimes also seeing conflicts of interest that are not being disclosed early enough, where locals have the opportunity to ask questions and find out how things are being done and to involve. It has created some conflicts in areas where locals have felt that they've been left out of that communication process. But I think we're starting to see a change there as more communicating in different areas and starting to see, okay, that area is not reaping the benefits that they were told, and let's learn from that in our community and make a difference. So there is a positive effect from this, that people are learning from each other across the country.
And Kay, as we start to finish up, I have two questions in one. You described Virginia as being one of the largest data hub centers in the world, and some examples have come out of that that are not entirely positive. And some communities have taken that example and have kind of fought back about this, like, not in my backyard effect. So can you share with us?
Yes, really, in Virginia, that's where we've seen the most data centers come up very quickly and close to residential areas. And you can see in photographs where the data centers are just behind residential homes. And there is also noise when they're that close. So there's noise issues, there's electric bill costs, they're not seeing the benefits that they had expected. There have been cases where residents have said they haven't been able to access all the information that they want, and that it's been difficult to find out who is funding this, which company's behind it, and which company's behind that. So a lot of citizens have gone to a lot of great efforts to find these out, and they're sharing that information and helping others mitigate early on so that they can protect their communities and at least know who are these massive neighbors moving in.
Well, it sounds like things that bring communities together in such a divided time is a good thing. And it sounds like maybe these data centers need to be parked a little bit further from residential areas. Appreciate all your research on this topic. Great to talk to you, Kay Rubacek. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.